The helmet is by far the most important piece of equipment because your head is the most important part of your body. Then your elbows and your knees. Being that your elbows and your knees are the least protected parts of your body, it's only natural to have some type of safety equipment on them. It also helps you break the fall.
No, fuck that. Sorry about that. All right, well, my name is Stephen Rotting. I'm a 21-year-old college student from Cal State San Marcos. I got into skating probably through my dad, and I got into skating because of Rocket Power. I remember watching Rocket Power at 3, 2, 3, 4 years old and seeing Otto do some shit, bro. I was so into it. I remember I saw him and I was like, oh, I could drop in, Otto can do it. The first time I ever tried to drop in, I went face first into the ground. But that, and then some Tony Hawk's Pro Skating, I definitely was into skating because of Tony Hawk's Pro Skating. Favorite tricks to do in a video game? Any sort of flip, because I can't do flips outside of a video game. Everything I can do in a video game, I most likely can't do outside of a video game, so I gotta practice in the video game. But in real life, my favorite tricks, I throw down a tray bomb every once in a while, to the left, a little tray bomb to the right, a little tray bomb ahead of me, a little manual, a little ollie. I can't do anything anymore, man.
My name is Lisa Moon.
My name is Trinity Moon.
Yeah, she doesn't go to the skate park too much. If we do go, it is early in the morning because she doesn't find it very comfortable to go when there are a lot of older kids or the bigger kids.
Usually they'll make fun of you.
She has had instances where some of the older kids will either give her a hard time about skateboarding, or just because she's still beginning phases of skateboarding and learning. So the preference is to go to the skate park when it's quieter and it's not as many older kids. Also, just because again they're also doing quite a bit more intense tricks.
My name is Scott Ibarrondo. That's spelled Y-B-A-R-R-O-N-D-O, and I am the Chief of Police here at Cal State San Marcos. You know, when you look at skaters, and I don't know how many categories there are, I kind of put them into 3 categories. You have the young kids and families who are learning to skate, or they're skating as a family. Then you have your more hardcore skateboarders, and these are the ones who do all the tricks. They're out there and they're looking for the next big challenge. And then, as with any segment of society, there's always a segment, usually it's a very small segment, of people who cause trouble. They know the rules, but they disobey them anyway. And I think that's pretty much where they get the negative connotations with these skateboarders. It's not from the people who normally skate, it's from that, that small percentage of skaters that actually may like to cause a little bit of trouble. The negative encounters I've had with skateboarders have really been on private property, when we get a private citizen calling to complain that skateboarders are on their property, maybe, injuring their property and refusing to leave when the homeowner or business owner asks them to leave.
So my name is Jeff Caudell. I'm a police officer here with Cal State San Marcos, and I've been a police officer here for 3 years, and I've been in law enforcement over 20 years now. There's multiple reasons for rules and regulations when it comes to skateboarding, and a lot of it is really for the rider's personal safety. And I'm sure you see it on a daily basis when students walk around. They have their headphones on, they're looking at their phones, and they're just not paying attention to what's going on around them. And if you can't hear and you can't see what's going on around you, it's disaster waiting to happen.
Police and skaters don't have the best of relationships. It's not because of one party's fault. I see why police don't want kids vandalizing areas and leaving trash and tearing up concrete and waxing things up. At the same time, where anybody wants respect, they gotta give respect. And if you're gonna be disrespectful to me, I'm gonna be disrespectful to you back. So that's the reason I've had a little bit of issue with some police officers, no matter how nice I am.
I just don't understand why they get so upset about it. Skateboard's supposed to be something fun, not something that just can make you angry and tear you apart.
Yeah, so she had an experience at another skate park in North County where they were giving specific comments to them about using the area, even getting so upset as to break their own board. So there have been those experiences where there's not wanting to share a community facility.
Hi, my name is Taylor McKay, and I got into skateboarding once I moved out here to California. I wasn't into skateboarding for my whole life. Previous to this, I lived in Japan, New Orleans, Texas, where skateboarding really wasn't predominant at all. Once I moved out here to California, I had no friends out here, I had no family, just me and my little brother. Really, I just needed to find a place to find true, honest friends and really actually find myself going from the middle school to high school state. So one of my neighbors actually was into skateboarding already. He actually got me my first skateboard and we started skating together every single day after school. Instead of procrastinating homework, skating in our yards. And once you start building friends who have the similar interests, you guys start having a little bit of a rivalry competition that makes you guys want to advance better than your friend as he's getting better, getting more tricks and this or that.
When I was younger, my influences were people like Tony Hawk, Bucky Lasek, the OG vert skaters, Ryan McDonald, and then as I've grown up, it's definitely shifted to more of street skating. I don't really watch vert skating anymore, but there's a couple of young surfer groms who skate really well that I really like. And then personally, I have a buddy named Mossy Kabir, and he skates for a few companies, and that's usually who I'm filming nowadays, and he skates really well. I got started filming skaters in 6th grade when my mom got me a flip video camera for Christmas. I was so into the flip. I used to just set it up on a tripod and film myself in the garage. Then I ghetto rigged it with this door peephole I bought from Home Depot, and I put it on, and then it was like this fisheye lens. It was super ghetto, but it worked. I started film skating from there.
My name is Mark Campbell, and this is Colton Campbell.
I'm Christina Campbell.
You want to say your name there?
Colton Campbell.
All right. I started skateboarding when I was about 5 years old, when we first came to California, and I took to it right away. You can try a trick so many times and just fail and fail and fail and feel so much pain, and when you finally make it, it's almost like everyone in the group makes it. It's pretty amazing. It's great just skating and cruising around, but when you're really trying to accomplish a certain trick and you can pull it off, everyone feels it because they know how hard you tried, because we've all kind of been there and fallen so many times together.
I was always been into sports, so I really like the aspect of skateboarding where it's really physical as a sport is, and you have to contain a rigorous integrity to continue skateboarding.
In my whole childhood, there was basically like no skate parks anywhere. So we had to skate street and skate all these things that weren't really legal. Now there's parks everywhere, and you don't really see the kids skating on the street as much. They're all at the parks. I mean, if there was a problem, all the cop would have to do is roll up and say, hey, what's going on here? They're all kind of in one spot. I mean, look at all these kids down here. They're making noise, having fun right where they're supposed to be, so.
It's a great bonding thing. You know, when he first wanted to start teaching him how to skateboard, he built him this little wooden board that didn't have wheels on the bottom. It just had two other little pieces of wood on the bottom, so it's little lifted up, and he could learn how to go click, clack without feeling like he was gonna fall. And then you can still see on his board, he's like, put chalk on there for where his feet go and like which direction the board should go. And so, I mean, it's a great way for father and son to bond and get out and teach your son a new thing to do. And then we go around to all the different skate parks around town, find the ones that have got the places that, have got the littler stuff that he can do. And it's small to bring. I mean, you don't have to bring a bike, which is big for a whole family. So bring the skateboard, helmets, and we're off and running. I'm all about it. I think it's great.
I found myself coming into contact with tons of people who were into this community, and a lot of friendly people as well, since this sport really attracts people who have a similar freedom in their ability to express their physical and mental drive to skateboard.
I'm not sure what the overall perception of skateboarding is with everyone. I'm sure there's people that probably look at skateboarders and go, what are they doing wasting their time on those four wheels? But if they actually saw the amount of energy that adults and kids put into it and the pride that they take in it, they might have a different perception of it. I mean, skateboarding is a really good sport for what we used to call like a latchkey kid that just kind of like parents let them run loose. They weren't taking them to organized sports like, oh, we're going to take you to the soccer game or baseball game. It's kind of like, what am I going to do? I'm just kind of home alone. I can do whatever I want. You start skateboarding and it's pretty cheap. All you need is a board and some shoes and you're set. It's not hard to get in trouble on a skateboard. There's lots of places where people don't want you to be. I grew up in a town that had a sticker that said skateboarding is not a crime because we tried to skateboard everywhere and everyone said it was illegal. So really all we ever got was a slap on the wrist and say, get out of here, kids. We weren't really doing anything wrong. It just, people don't want us on their property. They're afraid they're going to get sued if we fall or whatever it was. And life went on. It's a pretty harmless activity.
You kind of think of skaters as ratty kids. Skaters with weed usage, which I think is stupid because I think everybody nowadays smokes weed. You don't have to be a skater. I feel as if there's like a negative connotation to being a skater and doing all these things, but I don't know. I think skating is such an art in itself, and there's definitely a personality type that all skaters want to, you know, fit and form into.
I did the same thing as a kid and it didn't really hurt me. It didn't really hurt anybody else. It was just me doing my thing. And the reality is there's people smoking weed and drinking beer everywhere. I mean, go anywhere. That's just what people in life do. So that shouldn't be really what the story is.
It seems like anything that's different nowadays is bad. Just because people like to get a little rowdy and get a little extra hyped and maybe smoke some weed or whatever they need to do to have some fun, you know, that's them. Doesn't make them a bad person. I personally think that I'm getting judged every time I'm skating somewhere because of that perception of the type of person that a skater is. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, people are people, and people are going to be who people want to be. You can only judge, you know, you can only judge people so much.
If I reprimand someone that isn't my own child, or just, you know, make that correction of, hey, you know, where's your helmet, or, you know, what's going on, it is, you know, many times I just get the look like, who, you know, who are you to talk to me? You know, you're not my mom. As a community, we need to be looking out for each other, though.
I think in most times with skateboarders, we'll just stop and talk to them and tell them that they're not allowed to skate there. They understand it and leave. It's for those repeat offenders or people who, you know, want to buck the system. Those are the times that, you know, you'll maybe get a skateboard confiscated and a citation written.
So really the attitude that the skateboarder or anybody that I stop can really dictate my actions. You know, if somebody's really cool and understanding and seems like that they've understood why I stopped them, then it's like, hey, have a great day and thank you for understanding. So really that person can dictate how the process is going to go. And that goes for both sides. That goes for the officer's side, and that also goes for the person that's being stopped.
I care about their safety. You know, I'm sure their mom would love to see them come home. So, you know, it's done out of, you know, out of place of caring, yet that's unfortunately not what they're seeing. They're just seeing as, you know, nagging, they're being nagged on, they're being one more person telling them what to do. When, you know, instead of looking at it as, you know, hey, you're a kid, you're gonna make mistakes, you need reminders. It's not a big deal. You're getting a little reminder, that's all it is.